Hey guys, I want to talk today about how to grow your accounting and bookkeeping business. I'm going to be talking about the different stages of it and stages of growth so you know exactly like what to expect. Now, this is just what's worked for me in my career and for like the students who coach inside of our mentorship programs. This is not like the only way you can grow. This is just the fastest and easiest way that I've kind of personally discovered for myself from doing this for almost a decade. Trialing, erroring, paying for a lot of different courses, hiring a lot of different mentors, hiring a lot of different coaches over the course of my career. So I want to kind of share with you. I'm going to share my screen. Bear in mind, I did this on my remarkable tablet, right? But the way that it actually was coming across when I turned it to a PDF was not the easiest way to kind of see things. So I understand that. Bear with me. Be patient. That's okay. I'm going to explain all of it in great detail so that you fully understand what I'm saying. So, zero to about $5,000 per month. I like doing two concurrent hats. That means one is going to be like LinkedIn or social media. The next one is going to be partnerships. Now, the cool thing about LinkedIn is that even though there's only one LinkedIn profile or two LinkedIn profiles you're going to have, right, personal and a professional, it can be a really valuable asset over time because it just keeps allowing you to be able to have an avenue to business owners who can afford to work with you at your higher price on monthly packages. For me, whenever I'm teaching either myself or a student to do monthly bookkeeping or whether it's payroll, whatever the case might be, I'm always shooting for between $500 to $5,000 per month per client. Uh, so that's number one. Now, the second thing is partnerships. Now, you might notice this is an infinity symbol because you can have as many partnerships as you want. Now, for a lot of the students, I do teach about like culling referral partners as they don't really, if a referral partner doesn't get you like a lead within about 3 months, it's just like there's, in a lot of cases, there's not really that much need to talk to them. It's not you stop talking to them, it's just you don't really need to put as much effort as for the ones that are actually sending you leads all the time, 24/7. Right. So that's the main thing. But the first stage is to just start learning how to go and get direct clients. So LinkedIn and partnerships lead to direct clients, what we call them inside the program. And you're looking to really get your first high ticket one. Okay. So that's generally the one that's above about $1,000 a month, relatively close to about $2,000, $2,500 per month. It's generally a really good size client to shoot for because now you're generally most people's bills are anywhere between 5,000 about $7,000 per month. They're only one to two clients away from paying off their bills if you can just get really good at this base level process of using LinkedIn, learning how to do the messenger script, learning how to build trust, learning how to create urgency, learning how to get people to really want to work with you and really feel comfortable working with you and comfortable that you know exactly what you're doing. Now, if you have trouble doing that on LinkedIn, generally, if you're inside the mentorship program, we give you all that stuff so you don't have to like think about it. But if you don't have that, an alternative method you can do from the start is partnerships. Now, I personally like partnerships because it is the way that is the easiest to kind of like scale out over time. And it's the most efficient because it doesn't necessarily have to take your direct time involvement to go and get new clients. So one unit of energy turns into 5, 10, 15 clients with a span of like 2 to 3 years. And that kind of thing I'm always looking for. Like, what can I do one time that's going to keep paying me, keep paying me, keep paying me? It's almost like semi-passive income. It's kind of the way I like looking at it, right? So once you start getting more to the direct clients and you're comfortably able to go and get to direct clients, you're generally gonna be at about 5, 6, maybe 7 grand a month. Now, if you're trying to get to about $9,000 to $12,000 per month, you need to start doing two things. Number one is learning how to clone clients. So it's really more cloning clients and cloning partnerships, right? Because once you know exactly like what type of partner works well for you, is that gonna be a financial advisor, right? Maybe you just have a way with financial advisors in your area, they just really like you. Maybe it's CPAs. Now, a lot of people have trouble with CPAs because everybody goes after them. If you're not really learning how to stand out or separate yourself from the crowd, you're generally going to get ignored, right? A lot of people try and like cold calling CPA offices, and that's very very challenging to do. Especially because you're just meeting with the gatekeepers. You're not really meeting with the person who owns the company in a lot of cases. So cloning clients. So generally, your direct clients, and this is actually a really common misconception a lot of people have. It's not necessarily in some cases, you can get your existing clients to keep referring clients. Like that is a skill set in itself. If you're watching videos, like of course you can get clients to go into further clients. Like you might be taking that for granted, right? There's a lot of people, especially when they join a program, who maybe have like one or two clients, but they say stuff like, my clients don't want to share me with other people. Or my clients never refer me. Or they say they're going to refer someone to me. They never end up referring me people to me, right? That can be really, really tough. Now, those are direct referrals. I actually like doing something called indirect referrals. So since we're on LinkedIn, as soon as someone like accepts your friend request, and as soon as someone becomes a client, generally inside of your engagement letter, you can put that, I can utilize your name inside of like marketing materials, or I can use inside of communication. If they agree to that, and if you don't have an engagement letter, you can always ask them during your onboarding call, or ask them while you're working together, just in case you've been working for a long time, you just haven't asked them, right? In a lot of cases, if they feel really good about what you're doing and the work that you're providing, they're generally going to say yes. What I like to do is actually use their LinkedIn network, and they actually become my new partner. And I'm able to go and create relationships from other business owners inside of their network to start cloning, right? Because birds of a feather flock together. That means if you're able to go and get one of them who's generally a really good client, in a lot of cases, they might be congregating with other people who also might be good clients as well. Now, that's not always the case, but in a lot of cases, it is true. Another thing is that once you start getting more partnerships in place, and your income is starting to become very, very consistent, you generally want to start having a more of a consistent way to bring in new business, either every month or every quarter or whenever you kind of need, or even every year, depending on like, the size that you're trying to get to and just the level of consistency you want, right? Now, if you're at $9,000 to $12,000 per month and you're at step number two, where you've already cloned your clients, maybe you're doing like one event, and these events are generally like webinars. So they're just pre-recorded webinars where you're basically giving them to the partner's audience, and they're able to watch it on their own time, and they want to work with you if it makes sense. Now, we can give you the scripts. I'm not expecting for you to, if you're watching for the first time, you never made a video, you never done a presentation about account. I'm not expecting for you to know this stuff. I don't know. I think I might make a video for this YouTube channel and share like how to go and make a good presentation, whether it's an in-person presentation or whether it's online. I generally reserve that for like inside of my training program, but I think I'm gonna like maybe put that out there. If you want me to put up something about like how to do online webinars that gets 1 to 3 clients per webinar, comment webinar down below, and I'll be sure to like make that video, and I'll send you a link when it's ready. Um, Now, every time that you do a 1 hour webinar, right, you're generally looking for between about 1 to 3 clients per. Now, it really depends, right? Because if you're only looking for ultra high ticket clients, you're generally going to be getting like one, right? And that's really going to be dependent on the room that you're in and like the number of like big businesses. Or when I say big business, it's more the number of businesses that are financially qualified to be able to pay within that target price point. Now, it doesn't have to be like a $1 billion company or a $10 million company. You can have like a 500K to $1 million per year company paying it 2, 3, 4 grand a month. Now, are they going to pay you that amount of money? It really depends on your sales skills, but they are out there, and a lot of them will pay you a pretty good amount of money if they believe that what you do is valuable and if you're able to convey that value. Now, another thing we do is once we're doing those webinars, we're able to have an email sequence go out to all the people who have registered for the webinar, but either didn't sign up for a consultation call, maybe they didn't show up, or XYZ, right? And we're able to keep building this list of people who are interested in learning about accounting or bookkeeping. Even if they don't actually go and like buy from you right away, they're interested. So then you can just keep in contact over time until they are ready to actually start working with you. And it just makes things a lot easier for you over time. Just keep going, just keep churning, keep churning, keep churning. And then from there, you can actually set up with a partner that you guys do one of these webinars one time per quarter. Now, ideally, I like taking my top 4 referral partners, and I like actually making that the people who are going to be my quarterly webinars, right? So a good example of this is JT. So he loves doing webinars once a quarter with a couple different partners inside of the niche that he likes going for. It's pretty cool. It's pretty consistent. It's really great, right? And that way, it's like once you start getting up to, like 10, 15, $20,000 per month, you don't really have to be kind of like on a hamster wheel when you're doing your markets, right? It's more, okay, I know that every single, end of the quarter that I'm going to go and get an extra 3 clients, right? And for that 1 week after I do the consultation or after I do the webinar, I'm going to get a pretty good number of consultation calls. It just has that predictability. So you don't really stress out about like business growth anymore, right? And then it's just more consistent. Now, you could actually make this more evergreen and just have one webinar and just be sending all of the people on LinkedIn to this webinar. I probably need one more arrow, but I don't have an arrow. Let me see. Can I arrow? Yeah, I can. Yeah. Generally, you can do something like that, right? So this is the extra arrow. So you just send the same LinkedIn audience to this. The same LinkedIn audience is just going to keep going right to here. It's crazy because like yeah, it's just like you don't really have to keep doing stuff, but you keep getting the result of it, right? And it's just like that's why I started making videos. It's like it's just so much easier, right? Which actually brings to the next stage. So the next stage is more come on, work. Technology, man. Technology. The next stage is about oops, whoa. So I guess the arrows don't stay on the page, they stay in the main zoom. Cool. So then about 25 to about 60K per month. So a couple of ways you can grow from there. Now, the reason for this jump is generally because you can start doing things that are going to move the needle forward a lot faster. So buying firms or buying books of businesses. Now, the same way we go about doing partnerships is actually a very easy way for you to start going and growing your business by buying them. And like it's a very hidden one now. That's a skill set in itself. That's 10 videos and that's 20 videos we can make on how to go and buy a business and like all due diligence that you have to go make. So I'm not going to go into a lot of detail here, but it's just ideas of what you can do. After that is consulting services. This is why I do coaching. So I always believe that after you get to about, about 15, 20K per month, inside of your consistent monthly services and all of your bills are paid times, 3, 4, 5x, right? The next thing to do is start doing consulting because that's going to give you like spikes, right? So it gives you spikes. Every time that I sign on a new client, I get a spike in my income and it just goes straight to like long-term savings and into my investments. So consulting services, like I like doing mentorship, I like teaching marketing. Some other things are tax strategy and tax planning. Some other ones are you can do QuickBooks training. That's another one. You can do financial coaching, financial budgeting. You can do another one. You can if some people consider cleanups not like consulting, but it's like a one-time kind of blast fee. So that one can count. It's kind of a different thing. Next thing you can start doing is start building a brand slash building an audience, right? So this is why you see me like running advertisements, why you see me go and even make a YouTube channel, right? So I'm building a brand. I'm letting people know I'm sharing value. I'm letting people like get some help with this thing. And over time, it just keeps growing and growing and growing. So every single month, I get anywhere between about 64 to about 97 new subscribers onto my YouTube channel, which might not seem like a lot, but it's like all you have to do is just keep going consistently over and over and over again. So, for example, let's say 75, and there are 12 months in a year. So that means I'm going to get about 900 new people. Now, when you're looking at these online spaces, like 900 people doesn't sound like a lot, especially like when you see like people have like a million followers. But it's like if you had 900 people in a single room with you, that is a huge, huge, huge amount of people. And it's just like most rooms can't even handle that kind of capacity, right? And if I just do that for every, three, if I let's say we'll do 3 years, that's 2,700 people. That is a lot of people. That is like 1/4 of like some of these college football stadiums is following you and is interested in learning about the topic that you teach on. Next thing you start doing is start building assets into your business. Now, I like building assets for a couple of reasons. Number one, it makes it very easy for me to get new business for me to get new attention for me to get new things online. Number two, it also is something that you can sell in the future. And then number three, it also makes business easier because it starts bringing in more and more clients for either your consulting services or even your monthly service. I like using the assets to do more of like for the consulting services. That way, the consulting service is a little bit more passive. You don't really have to be like running a million miles an hour when you're trying to sell this stuff, right? So for mine, look like my Facebook group. That's one. It has about 33,000 people by now. I don't know. It's between 32,700 and like 33 thousand, somewhere in there, right? Next is my email list. My email list is about 11,267. Sometimes about 14,000 if I count some other emails that are just kind of there, but it's generally about anywhere between about 11,000, about 14,000 at this moment in time. Next is my content library. So that's all the different posts that you've seen on Facebook. I have them like in a content library that I could either go and pass off to somebody else or sell to somebody. Even if I don't have to sell my full business, I can just still sell those content assets to people, and then have them just keep reposting those posts for a very long time. Next thing is YouTube videos. Now, currently, it's not in a sellable form. Like my videos are it's pretty much me on this channel this moment in time, right? I could start changing it over time, but it's just like right now I just like really having my stuff being like the main thing. So it's just like it just it doesn't really make sense for me to like take my face off at this moment in time, but it will be coming relatively like soon, like the next like 2, 3 years. Um, but that's how you start going and making a more like faceless or having multiple faces on it so that it's not just built on like Bryce. Next thing is your what does that say? Brand related Instagram account. So it's not your personal brand. So some people have like a personal Instagram, some people have like it's a personal Instagram account you use for business. So again, very similar to my YouTube. It like right now has mostly my face. I just started probably I think it was like April of this year. So it's about 3, 4 months. We're at about 2,400 followers right now. It should be getting close to 3,000 by the end of like this month. It's only the 15th day of this month. Um, all I have to say is we're trying to go and get more and more and more followers and then start getting better quality followers as well. So it's about 2,500 right now. So it is growing at a pretty good pace. And then I like to see that about 10,000 followers, probably by the end of like, probably end of the next year and a half. Cool. Then after that, this is what you should be doing all of the time for the rest of your career. So I'm in the middle of like this kind of progression. So this can be something that you're doing while you're in these different phases, right? Do not wait until like you're at like 25, 30, 50, 60K per year before you start doing these phases, right? You should be doing it the entire time you're in your career. So that's real estate investing for diversification. This is like life insurance, annuities, like really going in like a financial advisor, a financial planner to kind of help you understand like what your goals are. I think in the future I'm going to be teaching more about that as like we keep getting more and more. My business partner recently sold about $420,000 worth of real estate properties. So within like the next about 1 to 2 years, we're generally going to be going back in to the market, and then we're going to be just really punching and just getting a lot of real estate investments. We have pretty great credit lines, and we have a lot of cash kind of stored up. So that's going to be the thing that we're going to use to kind of grow that side of the business and really just get that pathway to come back up. As well as like life insurance and different like annuities. Now, I'm not an expert at life insurance or annuities. I'm gonna probably spend the next like I want to say like 6 years to like 3 years to just really understand every aspect of it and just like get fully understand it, right? Because I want to be able to use a lot of like the living benefits of life insurance to be able to kind of take out loans to even get more real estate investment. We just keep getting more. Then we take the equity. We refinance the real estate. Just keep getting more and more and more and more. And then pretty soon, I really want to have about $10 million worth of real estate at the end of the day, right? So that just means that when I actually sell it, the value of it should be about $10 million. Now, 20, 30 years from now, is $10 million going to be the same as what today? I don't necessarily know. I just think it's a nice, really good goal. I think that my goal is to ultimately be worth about $25 million when it's said and done. And it does sound like a lot, but it's just one of those things where you just have a goal, you just keep pushing towards it, and then just keep making like concentrated efforts to do it. Now, in order for me to do that, I do have to kind of get more to about I could probably get to about 10 million, just kind of staying exactly where I am. Right, 25 million is going to take a lot more on this side, and then probably adding a new wing to my business. It might be adding a new wing to my business. When I say that, I think what I'm gonna do, and this is kind of something I'm just kind of grappling with over the last like probably like year and a half, is really start offering more of like tax planning services. Right, that's really the thing I want to do. So in addition to consulting, Bryce might add tax. And the only reason why is just because it is a lot easier to kind of get a wider audience and a much bigger audience where it's like finance, personal finance, budgeting, as well as like tax planning services. So I think it could probably dominate in that market. Because I mean it's just such a wide range of people, especially the way that I can do advertisements, the way I can kind of grow my channel. I might also add another line of business too. Add another. There's something that I'm kind of passionate about. It's like coaching um sculptors and growing. But I would use a partner, not Bryce. Yeah, that's really what I'd be doing. Probably like long term, go add an additional like 30,000, $40,000 a month. Is adding additional three services. Now, again, I might not need any of those. Like, I might not need any of those new additional lines of services. Just spend more money on the ads of what I'm currently doing. But I haven't been there yet, so I don't know exactly. I kind of have an idea of what it takes to get to about 100,000 a month. But currently I'm just not quite there yet. So let's get there slowly but surely together. You guys can watch along on the journey, and yeah, I'll tell you everything along the way. Hopefully you enjoy this video. Hopefully you learn something new. I will talk to you soon. Have a great rest of your day.